by closing your eyes. So because distraction is most of the eminent thing, so you came to know that that speaker is using all these four options just to distract you. And if you could not be able to discriminate that, so the first biggest distractions in MCQs, because you're listening to sounds and you're looking at the words, so when the words and the sounds are matching in front of you, you can select that. Examiner is a very shrewd personality. He voluntarily used such type of words in a wrong options just to distract you. So it's a better suggestion. So whenever you listen to a long conversation, so please try to listen it with your closing your eyes. Don't try to read that during your listening. I most of the time recommend students such type of questions. You need to read your questions before listening, so you have a better understanding what it means by in your MCQs. And sometimes it's more problematic when the long MCQs comes to you or short MCQs comes to you. Long MCQs, because you need to retain the whole MCQs in your brain by listening 4 different lines, and obviously there are different kind of distractions. Any other problem? Otherwise, I'll come back to my presentation today. Any questions in your mind? Have you ever felt it? I'm speaking with a great speed. Are you feeling that? Sometimes. Have you ever felt it when someone speaks with you in Urdu? No, never that. It happens because English language is not your mother tongue, and you have a lot of intelligibility when someone speaks in Urdu. Even you didn't find a difficulty, but in English you found that because you're trying to translate my every single word spoken by me, and it takes a longer time to process in your brain at the back end. So neurologically, you are taking a 2 language at the same time in order to listen a language. So that is the thing which I want to discourage that. So do not try to focus more on my vocabulary, focus more on my sentence structure and the suggestions and the main content of the discussions, which actually is important in your listening. If you try to be more focused on my words and vocabulary individually, so you will lose your actual context of the conversations. That is lacking in English language skills, which is not lacking in Urdu, because when someone speaks in Urdu, you're trying to understand the meaning of the whole sentence, but when someone speaks in English in front of you, so you probably try to translate every single word spoken by me or your speaker, and you translate that. It in fact diffuses your intelligibility, and in fact that discourages your process of understanding, and you will take a longer time to process that. I'll be pushed to the next sentence, and you're still thinking about my previous sentence. That happens most of the time in listening. So this is a serious concern. So you need to be more focused on your listening. So whenever you listen anyone, any documentary thing, one thing, for PT and IELTS, I never actually recommend Netflix or any kind of social channels. I always recommend documentary programs, any kind of legitimate, more academic English, which you have to be listen in both examinations. You will never find any kind of social language or slangs, profane, or a kind of a street language over here. Okay, let me tell you about the PT series that, in fact, tips and strategies. So there are a lot of questions. I've already told you this lecture is talking about all basic question types presented in PT, and I will be able to focus with you on IELTS as well, that what type of questions you can find in IELTS over here today. Yes, go for the next slide, please. Yes, these are basic question types which is available to PT, and there are some kind of questions which is available in your IELTS as well. The summarizing a spoken text, so you'll be given a long conversations and you need to about that. So this is not the part of an IELTS. This is available only in PT examinations. Multiple choice question, multiple answers available both in IELTS and PT. You will find these type of questions. Fill in the blanks that you'll be given a text along with the conversation with some missing information, and it's available both in PT and IELTS. And highlight a correct summary. So this is only for the PT questions, and there's no in IELTS. Multiple choice and single answers, these type of questions will be given to you. About the 4 choices, you have to select any single one choice. This is available both in IELTS and PT. I'll be able to have an in-depth analysis of all these type of questions seriously, and we'll be able to learn today that what tips and strategies will be utilized here. One thing, I want to recommend students for the PTE that the system after Math of 7th of August has been drastically changed. Before 7th of August, there was AI tool has been established. So at this moment, there is a negative marking for the wrong options, negative marking for the wrong options in PTE, and there is no any template, any kind of memorizations, any kind of plagiarism is highly unacceptable in these type of questions. Let's have a discussions first for summarizing spoken text. Go for the next slide, please. Okay, so you will hear a short lecture, write a summary for a fellow students. For example, the context is here will be with you. You're listening to lectures and you need to write these lectures in your own words by comprising 50 to 70 words. And the fillings in front of you, you're writing for your friend who was absent on that lecture. For example, you're listening me, and afterwards you can write 50 to 70 words that he actually, in your absence, he discussed this main points of that conversation, which is the basic idea of this question type over here. Your response will be judged on the quality of your writing and how well your response presented the key points presented in the lectures. Obviously, I want to recommend one and most important things for these type of questions. Students should be grammatically correct. Okay, for grammar that we have recommended a series, Longman series available here. There are 3 books. Longman series, a basic level. If you think that you're not really proficient, so you'll start from the basic level. The second book is intermediate level, and the third one is advanced if you're looking for a good scores in PTE, so go for that book. These books are self-preparatory plans, so you can actually download or you can request to your teacher, she can actually provide it to you. You can actually open it and do exercises every day, and if you find any difficulty, you can consult. Do we have any supplementary classes for grammar as well? We have some classes as well. So this section is precisely focuses on grammar sections. Got that? You have to be focused on more this thing, 50 to 70 words. So you should write that. And obviously, your window will explain it to you how many words did you write that. So you shouldn't worry about that. So how many words did you write it? So your window will explain it to you how many words did you write in your compositions. Next, please. Okay. This is, in fact, the answer of some questions that which is in fact that about finding that why students are losing their scores in this question, spelling and punctuation for this type of questions. You will be checked by the grammar. I want to recommend students, there are 2 kinds of sentence clauses. That one is called independent sentences, which I most of the time recommend to construct your sentences independently. For example, I'm delivering lectures on listening module. Okay, this is an independent sentence. Independent sentences are those which are complete itself, and you understand that. Pakistan is an agricultural country. This is an independent sentence. So students are attentively listening my lectures, serious notes. So it's an independent sentences. So I will recommend, if you found that you are weak and you are not really dexterous in your grammaticals constructing your sentences, so please try to make your short sentences, and after a few days you'll be able to learn a long sentences, and then you can prepare compound sentences and complex sentences. So these are 4 different stages. So please, first important thing, students should not actually impress the examiner by making a long sentences. So you have to make your short sentences, but the key factor is the grammar. Grammar will be checked a lot here, and spelling and punctuation. So there is an example that which has been given it to you. So please try to understand the conversations and find the errors. The Disney CEO is responding to a question about the value of the locally produced content in a global world. He answered by pointing out that his product is well known and will continue to grow. However, he feels is it still important to have his staffs working in the local situations and to use local creativity. Okay, I will recommend TOEFL grammatical part. In TOEFL exercises, this is a perfect exercise if you want to improve a lot. So go for TOEFL website and prepare the grammar part on that one. There are a lot of grammatically incorrect sentences has been written, so please try to measure that. What kind of mistake has been given in that? So give them 4 options. Ask them find out why these 3 are wrong. So in that way, the grammar can be improved a lot. Okay. TOEFL sections for grammar sections, which is very important here. CEO is responding, so verbal mistake actually is here, and there is a answer that full stop missing. This is a punctuation error, and capitalization can also be checked there when you will use full stop. So you have to use capitalizations over here. And look at this, another word that he feels is it, so is a wrong word order. So syntax error actually will be there. So I'm telling you, you have to be more focused on grammar in these type of questions when you are trying to translate in your own words. Spelling mistakes, which is another problem. Spelling mistakes, is a staffs, is the right word or wrong? Wrong actually. So they should be having his staff, okay? And there is no S, there is no plural form of staff, is a collective noun. And give them a bit knowledge about the parts of speech. That is enough for understanding parts of speech for these type of questions. And local creativity, again, spelling, okay? And so you will be able to get idea over here that about these type of questions. You have to give it a long conversation, and then you need to write it your own words. Next, please. Next. Yes, and everybody should take it on a very fundamentally serious note. Do's and do nots, so which you have to be understand for these type of question is your speaking from your dictations. Take concise notes. I want to recommend students that taking notes is one of the most vital thing, even for your IELTS listening as well. Whenever you'll find a long conversation, so please try to take notes. And one of the most destabilized situations during listening module, and I want to highlight the idea. Speaking speed is always different from your writing speed. It's a natural phenomenon that how many syllables you can speak in a 1 minute, so probably 60, probably 50, but you cannot write 60 syllables accurately in writing. So that's why taking notes should be given into a abbreviation, some kind of your own language, any kind of symbolic sentences, which is only important for you. I don't want to write the word important as a full word. IMP is enough for me to understand that. And I don't want to write the word and. Instead of, I prefer to use a symbol and. So symbols and equations similarly, so use it in your own words and try to practice with that. So a student must have an idea that how to use a long conversations by making a keynotes in your conversations. Another important tip for in order to make your keynotes, whenever you listen a conversation, so please try to listen the most important details. For example, listen my conversations carefully and try to measure that. What I mean to say here. Malaysia and Indonesia are the 2 Islamic countries. We are actually working for a lot in the fiber technology. And they have recently signed an agreement between these 2 countries to facilitate their employees and to, in fact, exchange their knowledge by understanding the employability. And that actually increases a lot of their knowledge and employability, and 57% they have improved their trade by signing this agreement. That is really a great creativity for them. What did you listen to that? What did you listen to that? Did you find any details in these conversations?
Yes, so there were details that 2 countries are having trade agreements.
Okay. Yes, that's an important thing. Whenever you will take a notes, you must have a wise idea that what is most important details and what is not actually the irrelevant or something like that. So, for example, listen my another conversations carefully. And we have a practice today that how would you like to find it? So use your copy pencil, everything, to notes with them, long conversations, okay? Everyone has a copy pencil for taking notes. I'm just doing a practice, okay? most important and most relevant details of the conversation. You should not be allowed to write every single important, irrelevant details. Okay? Are you ready for that? This is the practice for these questions. Numerals are one of the most complex thing in mathematics, 0 to 9, and it is so obscure that people even don't know that where they came from that. And without these numbers, in fact, the life is absolutely unjustified. Even we cannot travel to space. We even actually do not understand the mathematics and engineering without numbers. And this is something, a very horrific thing, that numbers are really important in our lives. We can actually rearrange them and to make different kind of equations to decide their values. And most important thing, that numbers was not originated since in European countries 300 years before. Previously, it has been practiced in Roman by a different complex plan for them, and afterwards that it came to the Europe in first time in Spain in 1703, for example, that these numbers came into this country by a trade of Indian passage. And these numbers are so important in our lives that we cannot deny the importance of them. Got that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'll be giving an opportunity to everyone over here. So everyone should explain it 50 to 70 words over here, okay? So I'll be giving you 2 minutes. You'll be given extra 10 minutes in actual examinations. In actual examination, you'll be given 10 minutes to rewrite these details, okay? So let me have a discussion with all of you. So who will be the first student who would like to speak on this topic? Yes, yours, please.
So you were telling me in the class about the importance of numerals in mathematics and in our daily life. Then you told us about the advent of it, that it started from the Rome, and then it came to Spain. Spain was the first country which got it because Spain was a part of Europe at that time, and it was around 1703 precisely that it was stated. And then it traveled to India, the subcontinent, through the Indian traders. Then you were also talking about the importance of numerals, that without numerals there is no maths, and without no mathematics there is no engineering, and there is no kind of scientific advancement in our life. And man would not be able to even go to moon or even create something like even a single phone without it, or any computer without it, because we know that there is logical reasoning and stuff like
Okay. Impressive. It's fabulous interpretations. I want to give you a rank of A according to my understanding about these questions. It's very, very well. I'll come back to this presentation. Anyone else who would like to describe the whole information in your own words? Yes, answer. Yes? From anywhere. No worries about that. Did you understand what I mean to say? Okay.
You said that about numerals in mathematics and in the numbers. लिखा है.
Please try to translate that. Actual examination में speaking नहीं होगी. Speaking नहीं होगी, आपको write करना है. तो no worries.
Without this number.
और इस एक्सरसाइज के लिए 10 मिनट होंगे आपके पास. मैं बहुत फास्ट चल रहा हूँ.
In with mathematics, numerals are without numbers is not identified in our lives, and in this discussion, its values and gives values, and after okay.
Okay, no worries. Anyone else who can help me? Yes, anyone else? Yes, please try to practice. Try to practice. Yes, please.
Sir, you discussed about the numerals in mathematics that are very important in our lives. Without the numerals, people actually don't know how to travel from space, or without it, we cannot justify the value of things. We cannot decide what's the value of things, and we cannot decide in our lives. It is originated from first in like Spain, and was described in Romans. It
Okay, impressive. You're still on A grade. In fact, that in actual examinations, you have enough time. I want to recommend students that you should not submit your assignment until you will go for the proofreading. So grammar is one of the most empirical part. You have to construct your sentences. And good news for all of you, for these type of questions that even you are a bit irrelevant, but the content is the grammatically fabulous. You did not make any mistakes for the spellings. You did not make any mistakes for punctuation. You get 100% marks for these type of questions if you focus it more on them. So just only for the practice, I'm giving exercises and go for any kind of podcasting listening skills of today's news, okay? And listen along news conversations and please try to use the notes. And afterwards, you can discuss with each other, what did you listen it today? I do have a podcasting facility I can actually apply for all of you if my sounds is more audible for your understanding. I'll be playing for that.
World Service. I'm Valerie Sanderson, and in the early hours of Friday, the 5th of September, these are our main stories. Tributes have been paid to the Italian designer and giant of the fashion industry, Giorgio Armani, who's died at the age of 91. The Israeli military says it now holds 40% of Gaza City as it presses ahead with plans to fully capture the city. After talks hosted by France, President Macron says that 26 countries have signed up to contribute to Ukraine's security after any ceasefire with Russia. Also in this podcast, the war ticked up.
The first discussion was Italian designer, and they actually Giorgio Armani, and they in fact that in 1981 that they introduced their company to facilitate that. And the next one is that is a 40% is a Gaza City actually has been destroyed by the Israel strike on that. And in France, the 26 countries have signed an agreement for improving their relationship on the Ukraine, that how this war can be consolidated. This is the practice only. So you can't understand my language. I understand my language. I'm just, in fact, introducing you how to make notes. So getting notes means that I'm focusing more on 1981. I focus on that word. I focus on 40%. I word the word Georgians, use the word 26 countries, France, and sign an agreement. You probably do not understand the word is contracts written by me. So everybody should do the practice for the notes taking. And notes taking is the vital factor of getting and accelerating your scores. So please try to measure your possibility of your notes taking. Next suggestions, write clearly using grammar. You are familiar with that. We have already discussions with this one. I want to recommend that you have a clear grammatical constructed sentence. For example, that Giorgio Armani actually is a company, in fact, that has a facility, is invented in 1981. The Italian designers, in fact, that focusing on their styles, okay? And 40% of the Gaza Strip has been destroyed. This is an alarming situation. And France actually has introduced a contract between 26 countries to stop the war in Ukraine. Okay, so this is the grammar which you need to learn that. I didn't make a long sentences, I made a short sentences, and short sentences should be grammatically correct. There should not be any misspellings or there should not be any punctuation problem. These three things are gravely observed by your AI and they can easily check that. Write a single paragraph with appropriate punctuation. Sometimes I've experienced that students will like to write a 2 and 3 paragraph in this conversation. So this is alarming situation. This is an AI tool. So you need to complete the whole conversations comprises of 50 to 70 words in one single paragraph. There should not be any second paragraph or third paragraph. Write it only one single paragraph. Got that? Summarize all the key points from this audio. So if you just listen to my last conversations, I just told you, I'll just help to clarify you. Numerals are one of the most complicated things from 0 to 9. and even we don't know about their existence, from where they came from. So all things are really confusing us when you think about their originality. But one thing is absolutely clear, that we cannot deny the importance of the numerals, because it exists in our all life sections, and even in fact the medicines or engineering cannot improve a lot for that. Even we cannot travel with that, and we can arrange numerals sometimes to rearrange their different possibilities. For example, 9 to 6, it will be converted into a 6 to 9 has a different value. So rearranging ideas, giving it to you. And as far as the numbers has been originated firstly by Romans. They were the first nation who has invented numbers in a complex numerals, and afterwards it has been reached in 300 years before that in Europe. And Spain was the first country who actually first looked at these words by the trade sections from India. So we cannot deny the importance of numbers, values, even that computers works on your numbers as a binary oppositions. Okay, so look at that. I have discussed it in a long conversation, and obviously I need only 50 to 70 words. I'll come back that, summarize all the key points from the audio. So go for the first example. Next page, please. Gave him A. And what was the reasons behind that? 3 factors: grammar, punctuations, and spellings. These are obviously important for the content marks. The most important thing is relevancy, and that you are actually living within the topic. You are not away from that. The numeral 0 to 9, essential for modern life. I was writing for important. Student has changed, it is essential. So paraphrasing is one of the most important skills. You try to translate in your own words, you're getting a good marks for that. If you will use my words, so it came to me as an examiner, you have a narrow range of vocabulary, you don't have more understanding about the alternative words. So this is a very significant point. When you use alternative, interchangeable, or synonyms, or something, a relevant word, so it can boost your scores. Were almost unknown in Europe until the 12th century. Before then, the complex Roman numerals were used. The new system, I'm using short sentences, just to explain that. These long sentences are not ridiculously required just to impress your examiner. I want to say, for these type of questions, always use your short sentences, but it should be grammatically correct. The new systems, I use comma, introduced from the Middle East, why India and China took 300 years to be widely accepted. These digits revolutionized field like a computing, space travel, medicine, engineering, shaping the world we live in today. That is actually the important detail. I've been trying to use 3-4 sentences. We cannot deny from the importance of the words. We can actually use the word like that. These words can be exist. Actually, medicines cannot revolutionize, cannot be improved a lot. Even in fact, you can travel with that. So I've used 3-4 words, like a field like computing, space, travel, medicine, and engineering. I try to use concise sentence. This is in fact important to you. And this is an answer explanations. This response receive an excellent answer for a content. I'm using the word content, means that you are very much relevant. Okay, you didn't produce any irrelevant things over here. And it summarizes comprehensively and paraphrases. I'm using the word paraphrase, mean interchangeable words, your own vocabulary, your own words, which in fact boost your scores on examinations day. Are you getting me? And so please understand that comprehensively and paraphrases, translate them and give them more practices. Give them a long sentence, ask them, please try to repeat in your own words. Should we practice with you? I have a lot of sentences, okay? I'm going to say chocolate is a globally like a dislike, liked by any kind of age group, any kind of sex. So in globally, chocolate actually is one of the most important ingredient, confectionery item. Yes, can anyone translate that?
Chocolate is the most widely liked or accepted substance throughout the world.
Impressive, exactly. This is enough. Anyone else? Why you people are silent? Urdu में बता दें. Try to practice that. Yes, answer. You know about chocolate? Do you like that? Do you like that? So what I said about chocolate? ये शायद मेरे सामने आप लोग ना घबराते हैं। इनको प्रैक्टिस करवाएं और कोशिश करें कि ये पैराफ्रेजिंग के जो क्वेश्चंस हैं ये खुद एक दूसरे के साथ बोला करें, मतलब गिव देम ए 10 sentences every day and ask them, please try to translate in your own words. The feelings behind the translating or paraphrasing, artificial intelligence, which can actually repeat your sentences on the basis of replacing vocabulary words or changing grammatical structure. Okay, these two things, if you can practice it, you can do very well. Yes, please.
So what about the length of the sentence after it's paraphrased?
No, only words, 50 to 70. Short sentences. Short sentences. ये मैं सिर्फ practice करवा रहा हूँ. Actual examinations में you have to write 50 to 70 of the long conversations. Conversations took place probably 2 and 3 minutes, and you'll be given 10 minutes to practice to write a precise question of the paragraph, 50 to 70 words. Okay, but I'm just working on that thing. Practice क्या है आपकी कि आपने paraphrasing skills को learn करना है. आपने मेरे words को use नहीं करना. आपने you have to listen my conversations and then you need to translate in your own words. Okay? और आप समझते हैं कि आप अभी इंग्लिश में नहीं बोलना चाहते तो मुझे उर्दू में बता दीजिएगा कि आप क्या समझे हैं मेरी बात को, मतलब अपनी vocabulary के अंदर. इवन आप कोड मिक्सिंग भी कर सकते हैं उर्दू और इंग्लिश के sentences को मैच करके express that. The feelings behind that, I need to improve your paraphrasing skills. Abyssinia is one of the most popular destinations for the tourism. It actually increases their budget from 90% to 110% just to attract more tourists from all over the world. मैं खुद बोल गया हूँ. It's a volunteer example. क्या बताया था मैंने?
You were just telling about a place.
Abyssinia, yes. Yeah, Abyssinia.
Abyssinia. So you were talking about the importance of Abyssinia, that how it helps to attract tourism. And
Why do you use my word, attracts? Use your own words. Anyone who can help me to find any encourages, make them more fascinations, make them a popular destination for tourism. Always try to translate that. Translate that. You must need to be translating your own words. I'll be practicing more sentences with all of you just to understand the paraphrasing skills. Okay, so Jemima beaches are greatly fascinated by their beauty, their triangular shapes and sunny areas and their locations, which is remarkably important to spend a good summertime over there. Yes. Yes, please.
Many areas are beneficial for its location
Impressive. Yes.
and areas and sunny is
Yes, sunny beaches.
sunny.
Good. I'll be making more simple examples. So everybody should actually listen it carefully. आपको लग रहा होगा मैं तेज बोल रहा हूँ, मैं जानबूझ के तेज बोल रहा हूँ. I need to convert you in paraphrasing. So you have to work on the mind. Mathematics is not the substitute for any kind of other knowledge in the world. And all big researchers has given the importance of the mathematics in every discipline of your life. Yes.
the crucial role of mathematics in our daily life cannot be ignored, and it is also widely accepted by scientific researchers throughout the world.
Impressive, fabulous. It's a good explanation. Anyone else? आपको समझ आ रही है जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ?
The integration of the math cannot be denied because it can be delivered with accuracy and it can explain it.
Yes, it's very fabulous interpretations. Impressive. So my job is just to explain to you. Paraphrasing means whenever you will listen a long sentence, so translate in your own words by employing in artificial intelligence, by changing vocabulary or by changing the grammatical structure. Okay, I will make a very simple sentence. I'm feeling thirsty. I need a glass of water, please. Would you please paraphrase that?
You're feeling parched.
Yes, I am. Parched from rain, actually. Lack of rain actually makes it parched. Anyways, this word actually specifically used for infertility of the lands of parched. Humans cannot be parched. Humans always thirsty. But I encourage you to change. That's a good thing. Good thing. Anyone else?
I am craving water
Yes.
for my thirst.
For your thirst, okay. To quench your thirst. Okay, impressive. Anyone else? भाई कोशिश तो किया करें ना, बोलने की कोशिश करें, नहीं करेंगे तो कैसे पास होंगे? मतलब try to practice in your own words. ये आपके साथ भी बोलते हैं कि नहीं बोलते? बहुत बोलते हैं? अच्छा. तो मेरे साथ क्यों नहीं बोलते? मैं वैसे उर्दू नहीं बोलना चाहता, तो आप मुझे बुलवाना चाह रहे हैं. Okay, so paraphrasing is clear? Okay, I'm giving you another answer for the similar concept.